Welcome to Her Wealth Unscripted. We're your hosts, Susan Jones
and Sara Gelsheimer. We believe financial decisions are most powerful when they're made with intention and grounded in what matters most to you.
This is a space for real conversations about money, life, and the moments that change everything.
Because it's more than numbers, it's the life they make possible.
You had mentioned, you kind of have to find that peace and self-regulation before making any critical decisions. Can you talk a little bit more about why that is? Like why you should maybe hold off on some of those bigger decisions until you reach that physiologically? Like what the implications might be if you make decisions before that point in time?
Because I did it, and I had no idea at that point. Nobody in my family had been through divorce. Nobody in my friends. So I was kind of at a loss looking around at everybody else. Nobody knew how to handle the situation. Then finances come, and you're like, what do I do? Like nobody really knows. And I wish that I had guidance from a mentor or coach very early on in my journey, and things might be very different. I wouldn't have wasted so much time, energy, money, and how to get myself into that next step, because we are in survival mode. Our body is in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. It doesn't know what to do. It can't hold that capacity. So your decisions are very offhand, like, okay, let's do this. Oh yeah, maybe we should do that. There's no plan, there's no action. It's just like, let's get out of this. And that's why when it comes to something so critical like a financial decision or moving to the other side of the world like I did, I made that decision in survival, and it didn't turn out sometimes the best for me. Like I told you, I went through a near-death experience. That's what we do. We hit these brick walls, and then we're just like, well, why is it not working? What do I do? But we're not even looking at that regulation. If I'd have started that early on in my journey, I think it would have been very different. And I think that's something we need to educate on, about the push through. We're not pushing through here. We don't need to push through. What we actually need to do is look at your emotions. What are we feeling? Let's not ignore them. They're really, really important. And once you're feeling good in yourself, and that's not the hair and makeup, I'm talking internally, once you're feeling good about that, then we can start talking about the heavier things like money, and feeling good about money, and feeling good about what your next step looks like, and get excited about it. There's always fear about the next step, but there's also an excitement part that comes with it.
Yeah, Susan mentioned we work a lot with people going through some sort of life transition, which sometimes it's very positive, but a lot of times it's not. It is the loss of a spouse, for example. And so I feel like half of our job sometimes is helping them figure out, what do you actually need to do now? And most of the time, it's not a lot that you need to be deciding at this moment. There are some things that we do need to tackle, and we'll help you with those. But, I do think a lot of what we do is helping them figure out, because suddenly you're engrossed in this new world that you are not used to. Yep. For a lot of women, they've never handled the finances, for example. So if they're going through divorce or have lost their spouse, there's a lot of decisions to be made, a lot of information coming at them. And, it's so interesting to hear how important it is to make sure that you're making big decisions like, should I sell my house, when you have a little bit more self-regulation versus in that fight or flight mode.
Yeah. And it takes time, and I appreciate people have to sell houses and really start making some decisions, but the regulation can come in part of that, and take your time. People rush the process. They just want to feel okay. I'm not even touched on, intuition. As women, we all have intuition. We are all empaths. We all feel things. But I ignored every single signal that I had. I ignored every red flag because we want to override it. So I'd really teach on listening more inwards. And, then we can start looking at the mindset work that comes into that. Then the manifestation, all these things are combined, right? They're all in sync. And once we're in sync and we're in flow, and our energy is feeling, we're in a good state, we can make amazing decisions for the rest of our lives. Like, we are the creator of that next step. And I know at the early stage, it feels like the worst case scenario. You feel like, this cannot be happening to my life, but normalizing that it's okay to not feel okay. We don't have to feel amazing every single part of the day. I'm in mindset coaching. Do I feel amazing every day? No, but I do work on it. And it's a thing that we have to work on every single day, just like we work on everything else, our careers. We have to work on our mindset too, and our emotional state. Because once you master this and you feel good in yourself, it's like you can take on anything in the world, which is an amazing place to be. And as women, if you're independent and creating this life for yourself, it's also a beautiful journey to go on and not feel the fear that it's the worst case, because it actually isn't. It's one of the best journeys you can go on.